Welcome to Cameron House Marina. I'm Ruben from Marine Sales Scotland. This is a magnificent example of our stock 2008 Regal 2655 Commodore. Powered by a Mercruiser Mag 350 300 horsepower V8 petrol engine, she was hand-laid and quality built in Orlando, Florida. Fresh from a full hull-side machine polish and underwater anti-fouling, she's had only 2 owners from brand new, with user essentials such as bow thruster, electric windlass and reverse cycle air conditioning all fitted. The boat had fitted from the factory this extended swim platform. Now it is very low profile, so it is close down to the water. That makes it very easy if you just want to edge off it. There isn't a big gap between you and the water. Go for a swim, then climb back on with the reboarding ladder here on the starboard side. Just above that then you have your dock connector, so if you want to connect to your shore water supply you can plug in there. That will give you full constant flowing water throughout the boat while you're hooked onto the pontoons. Transom shower allows you to rinse off the deck area here, also if you have guests or passengers who get a little bit dirty before they go into the boat. And then you have a towing eye as well, so the boat is perfectly capable with its engine of towing people behind it in banana boats and donuts, whatever water sports you want to do, whatever water toys you want to deploy, you can use them. And then once you're done, you have these 3 huge lockers that run the full beam of the swim platform of the aft section of the boat here. Put your water toys, wetsuits, life jackets in there. There's drains in here, and that will allow everything to dry off outside rather than having to bring it inside the boat, so you don't get any dampness or condensation issues inside the vessel. All of the perspex screens were replaced. You can probably see that they're very clear, and it gets even better when we look inside. Let's go in. Once inside the cockpit, we benefit from the shelter that the full canvas enclosure gives us. Although we are inside, we still don't feel disconnected from the outside. I'd say at least 85% of the curtains here, of the side sections of the canvas or the canopy, are perspex rather than canvas, just really these sections here. So you get a full 360-degree unencumbered view of the surroundings about you. If you're a passenger and you're sat on the back, the captain's motoring you along, you have again in your 180-degree immediate field of vision. There's nothing in eye line that's going to distort or disrupt your view. Things like this are well below shoulder level. Now in the summer months you may want to collapse and take all this away. That's fine. There is also a tonneau cover, a flat tonneau, that will clip on at the front of the windshield and then fix to the back end here to just protect the boat from the weather when you're not here. That's up top. Now down below we then have our roll in, roll out cockpit carpets. They give you a wee bit of warmth and comfort underfoot instead of walking on the bare GRP. But if you have animals here, people have gone for a swim, it's going to get wet. Take these away. You can store them down inside and then you can rinse this area off with the transom shower. The bench seat arrangement facilitates 5 or 6 people round the cockpit table. This back aft facing one will then slide all the way forward and actually meet with the forward facing bench to turn this into a daybed. More on that later on. When you're really up close to it, you can just see how well conditioned the upholstery is on the boat. That speaks volumes for the entire boat itself. When we're down here, there's ample space for people's lunch, for your drinks. If you need more overspill space, well, you have 2 cup holders, one here and also one there, just either side flanking the speaker there. We look across from the starboard side to the port where we can see our cockpit wet bar. You have another speaker as well, just a courtesy light below, and then plenty of storage on that side as well. But now we're up, we'll show you that said daybed. An ideal place to bask in the sun, maybe dry off if you've gone in for a swim just off the platform there. We don't lose any utility or any of the features of the boat because we can still grab both of our bottles or our cups that are in the holders there. You are likely going to sit with your back here or your head here and your feet underneath the seat here. Now look how they've recessed this into the backrest of the actual helm seat, and that gives you an extra foot or so of length, so you really can stretch out and lie down here. Servicing the cockpit during the day is the cockpit onboard wet bar. So that consists of a freshwater sink, a Corian effect worktop, straight through drainage on the drain here just in the sink, and then our cool chest just down below. Now that is well out the contact line of your legs, so you're not going to be knocking into it as you're moving underway. Also, if it's heavy, you can see I'm trying to wiggle it, but it is locked into place. To remove it, you just lift it up. So there's a mechanism that keeps that from rolling around whilst you are underway at sea. If we start off with storage, there's quite a lot of it on this port side here. You have your top shelf, underneath is the frame for a bin, and then underneath the sink is a storage locker, and strangely enough, or funnily enough, practically enough even, that runs all the way through here, and you can then access it again from here. So there's a drain just at the bottom there, so if you want to put maybe like an oversized fender or a wetsuit from there to there, even maybe a small deflated paddleboard, you can get it in and you've got access to it via both sides. It doesn't just stop there, there's a little bit more as well. Underneath the helm position we have two lockers just like this, so that's ideal for maps, maybe life jackets as well, any safety equipment. You can keep that right underneath the helm. 1-2 steps out and you are up onto the foredeck where you have your sunbathing cushions, and then there is also the electric anchor winch. The middle section of the windshield will just open to allow you access to do that, and you can roll this section up here of the perspex. Bolsters on the helm, it's a double helm, so your loved ones can join you. Once we're sat up here, we have our cherry gloss steering wheel. That matches very well with the panels on either side and also the instrument panel. Turning it on, the boat has run very little hours for age, 457 hours. All the gauges work. We have our control for the electric anchor winch here. An absolute lifesaver that should not be underestimated is the onboard bow thruster. Very seldom do you find it on a boat of this size, but it really gives you so much confidence and so much more manoeuvrability when you're coming into a tight spot or a tight marina like this. So bow thruster is a big selling point for this. Just behind we have trim tabs to level out the boat. Our Mercury throttle system just here. Now there are bolsters on the seat, but you don't need to use them because the driving position is excellent enough as it is. We'll take one final sweep and look round the beautiful cockpit. Now bear in mind this boat has only had 2 owners from brand new, the second owner of which has had it since it was a year old. So all the documentation, everything comes with it. It really has been lovingly cherished. Now let's take a look downstairs. The interior of the boat has been kept in truly pristine condition by its 2 previous owners. On the flooring we have the carpet overlay protectors. They stop any spillages from permeating through and staining your carpets. On the port side is our galley forward saloon, and here is the heads, and that's all supplemented by the aft berth. Now when you're standing here at the galley there is full standing headroom, so that means you can chef up a meal here on the single burner should you want to. Microwave oven just next to that, very nice and clean. Stainless steel hot and cold sink, hot water coming off the engine system and also the calorifier, and then there is a very clean fridge with a small freezer compartment just below. Next to that we have some storage. There's another storage locker just further along to the left hand side. If you're not connected to 230 mains, you can plug your phone into the 12 volt socket and charge your phone or your electricals that way. 220 volt panel, 12 volt panel. That is your stereo speaker, your stereo system control header unit. Above that is the onboard reverse cycle and heat air conditioning unit, and then above is the tank monitor for the waste and also the fresh water. Now just one round the side, if we look at that, that is our control for the reverse cycle air conditioning and heat. There's also a dehumidifier setting on that as well, so if you're not using the boat for a long period of time, you can turn that on and that will take moisture out of the air. So the saloon will seat 6 or 7 people. It's very comfortable. You can drop the table down to turn this into a double bed if we want to, and it's the backrests that come off both the port and the starboard side. They then go down and make up the filler, and that's valuable because rather than have to carry around a spare filler cushion, which will then take up invaluable storage space, once this is done you can just lift those back up and they form part of the furniture. Now you've got 6 feet worth of length, or 6 feet plus worth of length from top to tail. It is full beam here, you can see, and the escape hatch does a great job during the daytime of letting natural light come in here. It feels very bright and spacious down below, but then during the evening times there is a blackout blind that will clip in. You can see the teeth for it here that will retain and hold it in place, so you can completely block out the light to this area. The head lining is padded and also lined with this marine vinyl, so it gives you acoustic insulation and also thermal insulation. We have a real genuine teak saloon table here as well. Looking back the way from up at the forward bulkhead, you really get an idea of just how wide and beamy the boat is for a 26 footer. One of the first that I've never seen this before as well. You have built-in armrests on either side of the bulkhead where the saloon starts and ends, so that gives you that added comfort. If you have quite a lot of guests down below here, you can put your arm up against it. It makes for quite a comfy position. So that is the saloon. Speaker system up at the back, also a mirror just to add to the feeling of light and space in here, and then there are some shelves just behind and also underneath this entire seating arrangement here, so you've got loads of storage in the forward areas. Within here is the heads compartment. There's a vacuum flush sea toilet with a waste tank, foot pedestal to operate that. Sink with hot and cold water. You would pull the tap faucet out, it will clip in to this unit here, and then we pull this across if you want to have a shower. Notice how the well of the base is recessed to allow all the water to then drain out into the drain. The shower sump pump will then pump that overboard. You have some storage just behind where the ledge is, sockets for your shavers and also for your toothbrushes, a vent that allows the warm air or the cold air to come through here, and then an opening porthole, storage just above, and then some also below the sink. But we've got full standing headroom in here, folks, for you to do all your ablutions in the morning time. Looking back, this is the aft berth, so this is probably where the owners will sleep. You have overspill seating just above that. In the high gloss joinery, we have our hanging locker storage. One more up, we have a vanity mirror, and then also there is some storage just within that. If we look down, it's very comfortable and quiet, this area, because it is midship, so you don't get the slap on the bow that you'd normally have if the cabin was up at the front. In here, along the port hand side, is a combination of both storage and also the reverse cycle air conditioning unit lives in there as well. Reading lights, his and hers, one on either side. If you want a little bit of privacy, you can pull this across to enclose this entire area off. Excellently conditioned. Look at the gloss coming off the joinery. Super clean down here. Anyone who's had a look at this has just gone, wow, this is in unbelievable condition. We'll finish up, folks, with the engine. One of the most common engines found in boats of this size, the Mercruiser Mag 350 300 horsepower V8 petrol engine. We just got back last month actually from the Regal factory in Orlando, seeing how these were made. They're laid by hand and they're built with pride. This one is absolutely no different to those. She's in excellent condition with a robust, solid build quality. I'm Ruben for Marine Sail Scotland, where fun in the water begins.